as the University of the Pacific defeats the AFA Falcons by the score of 22-12. We're going to go ahead and keep it here, and obviously we have quite a few highlights, and we can start with certainly the play. The focus will be on Tom Leggett, who had 9 goals on the day. That is his career high. We'll take a look at some of those highlights. And Patrick, as you mentioned during the broadcast, wasn't able to, the rest of the team just wasn't able to get involved. It was pretty much Tom Leggett, especially in the second half with 6. Or 7, rather.
We'll date ourselves, Jeffrey, and reference Michael Jordan. When teams would play the Chicago Bulls in their dynasty, teams knew that Jordan would go for his number, whatever that would be. Could they contain the rest of the scoring on the other side? And today the Tigers were able to do that. Leggett was able to go for 9, but single-digit scores for the rest of the Falcons. And at the other end of the court, the starter in net for the Tigers, Bay Fountain, was outstanding. He was a wall. He had 12 saves before being relieved by backup goaltender Lewis Gale, and the Tigers able to control every phase of the game: front court offense, defense, counterattack, and the power play, and really frustrate the Falcon attack. Well,
I'll tell you what, you mentioned the aforementioned Michael Jordan. It used to be Michael Jordan and 4 other guys, and now with the Falcons, a great performance by Tom Leggett, but for the Tigers of the University of the Pacific, they jumped off to a 5-0 lead in the first quarter and basically showed their taillights from there. It's hard to come back from a deficit against a team like that, as we just saw in some of the replays. They are a solid club.
They are, and they should be favored going into the West Coast Conference tournament. Don't get me wrong, there are some other teams that can give Pacific trouble. The Tigers will have to play well. You can't just show up and mail it in and expect to win when you're facing the likes of Pepperdine and San Jose State and Santa Clara the rest of the way. They want to get that top seed in the conference tournament to set themselves up for an easier path to the title game and perhaps an NCAA tournament bid. On the other side of the coin, Air Force trying to push that rock uphill. It's been a tough go for the Falcons as they try to battle their way out of the bottom standings here in conference.
And so for our entire crew at ESPN Plus, a special thanks to our sports information director at the United States Air Force Academy, Nick Arseniak, and a very, very special thanks to my color commentator, Mr. Patrick Donlin. It was a pleasure,
The pleasure was all mine, Jeffrey. Thank you for having me and joining you all weekend. It was a great pleasure and honor to be here at the Air Force Academy.
Thank you very much, sir. Our next broadcast will be on Thursday as the Air Force Academy Falcons will be taking on Loyola Marymount. For our entire cast and crew, I'm Jeffrey Orman. We bid you a very pleasant good afternoon from the Cadet Natatorium at the United States Air Force Academy. This has been a production of ESPN.